Hello, my dear friends. Today we are going to talk about data types, right? So there are two types of data types. It's difficult. One is primitive, non-primitive. Non-primitive is for next video. Basically, we'll learn about functions, objects, arrays one by one. Okay. But yeah, we will talk about primitives today. And mainly there are five types: a number, boolean, string, null, and undefined. So again, before we start this video, to all the people who are watching the video, do subscribe our channel. And mainly in this series, we will learn only those points of JavaScript that is quite essential for you to get started with library or framework. Simple. First thing, number. Okay, as the name suggests, all the numbers, be it decimal points or any other things like mathematics, are stored in numbers. Okay, so let's say const number is equal to 9, and this is a number. If you don't believe me, that's completely fine. How you can find out whether a particular variable is of a particular data type or not? We will use type of. Okay, and type of and variable name. Just note this down. Okay, so here we have number. So that is about number basically. And yeah, different variants. 9.0, this is a floating point number, still a number. And I can use 9.9, doesn't really matter, again a number, or 0.999 for that matter. Yes, everything is a number. But in other languages like Java, I don't want to confuse you, but yeah, everything has a different value. So there is decimal, there is long, there is float, there is big integer, and things like that. But JavaScript, it's quite straightforward. That's what we love about JavaScript, right? Now, also, you can do some calculations. What is that? Again, I won't go over everything. We will learn what is needed. So, for example, I say add, and I add two numbers, basically 90 and 67 for that matter. Console.log add, you can 157, right? You can subtract, you can multiply, you can divide, you can do whole bunch of stuff. So that is about numbers. Let's learn about what should we learn. Let's go order wise. Let's learn about Boolean. Okay, before we start, what is Boolean? Okay, Boolean has two main values, true and false. Simple as that. And these are quite essential when you make decisions. Okay, for example, you say 5 is greater than 7, right? This is false. Okay, but yeah, when this is useful, when we learn conditionals, there we will use it. But understand that we will either have true or false. Okay, just to show you, I'll console.log the type of this decision so that you don't feel that I'm cheating. Boolean, done. Simple, right? Let's keep it short. Let's learn everything. Next is the string. Formal definition, something that is enclosed in quotes, be it single or double. Well, again, for people who are seeing this for the very first time, there are in other languages, if you write things in single quotes, it's considered as character. If you write it in double quotes, it's considered as string. But in JavaScript, there's nothing like that. I can say hello world is my variable, or let me tell hello so that I don't waste your time as well. I can use single quotes. Okay, let me console.log of that hello world. I can use double quotes as well, right? You cannot use one single and one double. You need to know that. Okay, right? So here we have hello world, line number 80. Hey, we have some assistance over here, right? Okay, now the next thing that I'm going to talk about is called template literals, right? Let me just give you an overview of that. Okay, now for example, let's say I'm going to write console.log. Again, in depth about the template string we will learn when we are learning string methods, right? So here I just want to give you an overview. Like generally what happens is I want to say good, or let's take a good example. Name is equal to dev dose, right? And I'm going to greet dev dose now. I'm going to call greet and say good morning to team dev dose. How can I do this, right? One way I can type, but I don't want to do that. What I'll do is I'll tell I want to append with the name. Okay, with the name, right? So what did I do? I kept relevant spaces. I added a plus sign and I did name. Okay, let's see what is the output. Meanwhile, I want to remove all these kind of things because I don't want to confuse you with other console.logs that is there in the console. So let's see. Good morning to team. Absolutely fine. Congratulations. But let's say I want to talk more. I want to talk to this dev even more. I'm gonna say, how are you? Plus name. I'm tired. I don't want to do this. Well, you can see this is not kind of a readable, and it's quite difficult to deal with these kind of things. Okay, of course, I can see the output on the console where I messed up with something. Yeah, I mean, for me, it's kind of difficult, right? And see, also see, I missed a white space, right? I should have given this. But instead of doing this, instead of me ranting over, you ranting over, we have something good, right? We will use something called as backticks. Okay. Now, how does this work? This is the entire thing is called as template literals. Okay. Below your escape button on the top left side of your keyboard, there is something called as backticks. Okay. I just clicked on it. You need not use shift. Okay. This will allow us to do a lot of stuff. As of now, you will see the power of it. I'm going to write the same sentence again. Hello, team. And at any point in time, if I have to, mention any kind of variable, okay, not only strings, any kind of variable, I'll put $sign, set of curly braces, and there it activates the JavaScript. Okay, so you need to write variable, and your age is, let's use add variable, which doesn't make sense. Let's make it age. Let's make it age, and let me make it 23. Yeah. So hello team, name and your age. Look at this. It's kind of clean, right? And again, I can say by name. F5. Hello team, dev and your age is 23 by dev Doesn't make sense. The sentence doesn't make sense, but this makes a lot of sense, right? Okay, great. Now the last thing is null and undefined. Well, I have written a formal definition which is quite essential for me to make you understand what is null and undefined. And most of us generally feel, confused about when we talk about null and undefined. So what is null and undefined? Let's not see this definition. I'll tell you something. Okay. There are two things, right? One is this null and other one is undefined. Well, let's say I'm going to say let and some var, means some variable. And the very next line, I'm going to say console.log that some var. What do you think the output will be? It's going to be undefined. This is because I haven't given it any kind of value. I haven't said, no, this is 0, this is 90 or whatever, right? I would have said that, yes, 90 would be there on the screen, but I haven't told anything. Let's see. This is undefined. So this means that your default state of that particular storage is not assigned, and you might intentionally do it, unintentionally do it. Okay, there are real use cases, and we will talk about this when we talk about conditionals, right? And when you know that initially I need to have some value, I'll use null. Okay, both are data types, right? Null means you initially want to keep some value. You don't want to leave it empty. That is the only difference, correct? So you deliberately, what you do is assign some value. I'll tell you a difference. For example, I say some bar is equal to null and I do plus 6. What do you think the output will be? Output will be 6. That is great. But now I'll say it's something like this. So this is undefined plus 6. And JavaScript complains saying that, hey, there is something which is undefined and I seriously can't understand what this is, right? So this is about null and undefined. Okay, so to go over, we've learned about 5 different primitive data types: number, boolean, string, null, and undefined. We've known what is number. Okay, number is nothing but digits. There can be anything. Boolean means true or false, which we use in decision. And for sentences, we use string, right? Null and undefined, I've explained you. So if it is intentional, you write null, okay, equal to null like this, not minus equal to. If it is unintentional, you just leave it. Also, you can do undefined. It doesn't really matter, right? Still, you are going to see that it's complaining, not a number, right? So thank you so much for joining us. Do subscribe the channel and definitely leave a like, share it with your friends, and see you in the next video.